Love, that ever-flowing liquid fire of light, ever-expanding and illuminating truth, which is always revealed with wisdom, a spiritual nutrient necessary for vitality that is maintained through selflessness, a filter of ether that aids purity, which is love. Love, a limitless paper lantern floating into infinity on the intentions and actions of initiates of the mysteries. Welcome, fellow Phoenixes, to the Spiritual Phoenix Podcast, where we make a daily offering to the divine by putting our past on the pyre, searching the smoke for spirituality, turning the ashes into art, adapting isolation into connection, and manifesting mental wellness. I'm your host, Ross Cessna, and together we are the Spiritual Phoenix. The intent of this show isn't to tell you what to think, but to get you to think, and originally articulate yourself in a way that is uplifting. We are the artists of our lives, and today is a blank canvas. Let's collectively create a better tomorrow. If you have a topic you want to hear discussed, or something you want me to read or play on air, or a 1 minute or less poem you'd like me to put on the sister podcast, the Phoenix Poetry Podcast, you can call the Phoenix voicemail line at 480-535-2561. And again, that's 480-535-2561. Also, if you'd like to book a tarot reading with me, go to my Facebook page, Spiritual Phoenix Tarot, or get on the website and go to the shop and get a tarot reading, check out some of the stuff that's going to be coming up there. And now I'd like to take a moment and reflect on what we are grateful for today. Today I'm grateful for the tools of recovery that I've learned, some of the self-confidence I've gained, and the healing that I've really done over this past 11 and a half months or whatever it has been. Went through some things in my life. I'm going to record another episode tomorrow that I'll release next week, kind of about that whole concept, the lessons that I've learned in there. Just grateful that I'm in a healthy place with it, because it's not really traditionally somewhere where I would be with it. Now I'll get into some quotes. All great music is in one way or another psychedelic, and that was said by Genesis P. Orridge. I think really what unites psychedelic people is the faith and the power of the imagination. And that was said by Terence McKenna. I'm going to give you a quick definition of actually the etymology of the word psychedelic to explain what it actually means instead of what people perceive it to mean. The psychedelic is a concept, the name of which is derived from the ancient Greek words psyche, which means soul essentially, and delaun, or delaun, I probably pronounced that wrong, but that means to make visible or to reveal. So when you put those two different words together, it actually means mind revealing. And as some of you know who have listened to this, I used to take a lot of different psychedelic drugs, or entheogens as some people call it. And I find that, especially when you look at the word psychedelic this way, psychedelic drugs really aren't so mind-revealing in a way, and I'm not going to try to downplay the experiences, because I've had really good experiences on them. I choose not to do them anymore for my own personal reasons. But as far as mind-revealing, it's difficult to say that that's the case, because it reveals your mind to you on those substances. It's kind of like taking off glasses and looking through saran wrap or plastic wrap, or what's the other one, wax paper or something, where you can still kind of see stuff, but it doesn't reveal it to you necessarily in a way. And like I said, if you like to do psychedelics, that's cool. There is some insight to be gained in there. I don't advocate the use of them, but I think what actual psychedelics are typically isn't a substance. I think that you can have these psychedelic experiences without the use of a substance, and some examples of that would be meditation in lots of ways. I know for me, I used to have this concept of meditation being clearing the mind, and there's this recent type of meditation that I've become aware of, and I want to say that it's Zen style, and I could be completely wrong in the actual name of the style, but it's just there where you sit and you let your mind literally reveal itself to you without judgment, without trying to push it away. Just sit there and look at what comes up, and not judge it. Like, just ride the lightning of your mind. And that is very, very, very intense in lots of ways. And it's also really a good experience. Love itself. See, love is one of these things too. The next two I'm going to say are tricky in lots of ways. Love is a psychedelic in the sense that it really exposes your mind to you and what you care about and all those kind of things. But the converse side of it is love can also be the exact opposite, and it can close you off from your mind and put you in this like addictive chase at your own destruction and the peril of those around you mindset also. The other one would be fear. Fear is absolutely mind revealing if you can really sit with it and try to trace it to its roots and like understand where that comes from, what it stems from, what inside you needs healed, loved, accepted. And the issue with that, again, is that like if we let fear cripple us, we have a fear of even acknowledging that fear or diving into it. We just say, well, I'm afraid of that, I don't want to do it. Instead of really trying to digest where that fear comes from. But it can be incredibly psychedelic. Like the one quote that I read said, music's incredibly psychedelic in the sense that like it reveals your mind to you. Have you ever listened to a song and then heard like one little lyric and been like, holy crap, this relates to this, this, and this, and it's just like maybe 3 seconds of the song, but it reveals so much of your mind to you? Or have you ever listened to just an instrumental and it sounds like how you feel? That's incredibly psychedelic. I've had so many situations in life outside of any emotions, outside of listening to music, just in social interactions where like in one of my 12-step meetings, sitting there, listening to other people, having people explain things that they're going through in a different way than I had thought of it, like, or a different way that I perceived it, and it reveals my mind to me in a way to where I can see that missing puzzle piece. I can see what I need to kind of complete that process of healing or of moving forward, or to remove that piece of the puzzle that's overcomplicating and crippling my ability to use that trait or those behaviors in a healthy way. Other psychedelic experiences literally are like art or things like that. It's weird because like psychedelic art in itself, which when I say psychedelic art, I mean like the art that people perceive as drug-induced or enjoyable when you're on drugs. Actually creating that kind of art, or art in general, is incredibly mind-revealing if you look at it through the proper lens. I'm not going to say that every artist that does it is making psychedelic stuff in some sense. I mean, I think that you would have to be consciously aware of it. I guess you could be unconsciously doing psychedelic stuff, but I think that the awareness of these substanceless psychedelics, because the creative process itself is incredibly mind-revealing if you really break it down. That's literally what you're doing. You're manifesting your mind onto this canvas. Or writing again, incredibly psychedelic. Manifesting your mind onto the paper, onto those words. Reading, incredibly mind-revealing to you. Look at what you read, the books that you read. It should reveal what you're filling your mind with. Your mind is composed of the entertainment that you put into it, really. So when you are reading certain books, certain times if you read stuff and then you reread it again, it will be revealing to you how much your mind has developed more, and you'll be like, wow, that means something different to me, and it goes this much deeper out of the rabbit hole. Because I'm not fond of saying in the rabbit hole, because I find it to be kind of misleading and counterintuitive in lots of ways. But yeah, there's so many different actual substanceless psychedelics that are just experience driven and being present in the moment. And I really think that I've kind of nailed that concept on the head. And it's like, what psychedelic experiences or other substanceless psychedelics or things like that can you think of? And it's like, you can leave it in the comments if you want, or you can just toy that thought around. Like, outside of using substances, what things are mind revealing to you in your own life? Follow those. It's like, I have psychedelic spirituality now. I don't need any of the drugs for it. I have a way more pure psychedelic experience because I can tap into it whenever I want to, really. It's a mindset. It's a way of living. It's a way of perceiving. It's like I'm tripping all the time in a sense because of my perception, but I don't have the fogginess or delusion of, I shouldn't say delusion because I don't really perceive psychedelics that way, but maybe the fogginess and disconnectedness from actual reality in some ways, but I can still get the benefits. It's almost like a mindset of augmented reality in some ways. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not saying that my state of mind is better or worse than using substances. It's better for me personally, I should say. It's better for me. It might not be better for you, but I would say if you do enjoy psychedelic substances, try to perceive all these other forms of psychedelics outside of substances too. And you can cut back on what you have to use if you so desire. Or if you don't like psychedelic substances, try to perceive things in that light. And with that, you can follow me on social media at Spiritual Phoenix. I do free daily tarot readings at Spiritual Phoenix Tarot, and that's on Instagram or Facebook. I started a side podcast of 1 minute long poetry called the Phoenix Poetry Podcast. Currently it's on iTunes, but I'll be adding it to other services in the future. Excuse me. You can visit the website, thespiritualphoenix.com. I'm going to be putting stuff up on the shop there. I have one t-shirt, two different types of t-shirt. I'm going to be putting hats, other things, jewelry, some laser engraved stuff. It's going to be filling up over time. With that, I love, respect, and appreciate all of you. Love and light. Namaste. Time to put this episode on the pyre. Peace, people. Go pursue those substanceless psychedelics.
Don't believe. Don't follow. Do not consume. Do not watch. Largely what I'm talking about here is reclaiming experience. This is what's been taken from us. It's a self-advancing, self-expanding, self-defining process, and it takes no prisoners.
The real world isn't a spiritual world, it isn't a material world, it isn't an empty world, it isn't a solid world. It's simply